Hi, it's Congresswoman Terry Sewell, and I want to welcome you to a very special National Small Business Week edition of TerriTalks. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by a very special guest and a local small business owner. She is truly a hometown hero, and I look forward to introducing her in just a minute. Our nation's 33 million small businesses are the backbone of our economy and an essential part of our economic prosperity. Small businesses generate half of our nation's gross national product and employ nearly half of our workforce. They create jobs, strengthen our communities, and build livelihoods. We know that starting a small business is no small feat. It requires hard work, dedication, and most importantly, access to capital. That's why, since coming to Congress, I have sought to meaningfully provide ways for small businesses to grow and thrive, including breaking down barriers to capital for aspiring entrepreneurs. Fortunately, thanks to the transformational policies of President Biden and Democrats in Congress, we're in the midst of a small business boom. In 2023 alone, Americans filed 5.5 million new business applications. That's more than any year in history. Not only that, but Black business ownership is growing at the fastest rate in 30 years. Between 2019 and 2022, the share of Black households owning a business has more than doubled from 5% to 11%. Now, we still have a ways to go, but that's doing pretty well. This historic growth is no accident. It is a result of President Biden's Investment in America agenda. With the American Rescue Plan, the bipartisan infrastructure law, the CHIPS Act, and now this economic boom, my Democratic colleagues and I are working to grow our economy from the bottom up and the middle out. It was these transformational investments that set the stage for the success that we're experiencing today. I know that many small businesses in Alabama's 7th Congressional District were impacted by the tornadoes of January 12th, 2023. Now, while it has taken a while for us to recover, I am very proud of the way that the United States Small Business Administration, SBA, has been able to deliver over $8.4 million in assistance to businesses in the 4 counties impacted by the tornadoes of January 12th. The small business owners in our district are resilient, and no one knows that best than my special guest today, Miss Jackie Smith, who is the definition of hometown hero. Leaving her job in Montgomery, Alabama in 2011, she bravely took on the risk of becoming a small business owner in her hometown and my hometown, the heart of downtown Selma, Alabama. As the owner of the coffee shop, Jackie gave Selma a place for the community to come together, eat great food, and be able to mix and mingle with our neighbors. For 13 years, the coffee shop has made its mark on Selma, welcoming visitors from around the world to learn about an important part of American history and at the same time sample some hometown good eating. Like any business owner, Jackie has had her fair share of hardships. After the January 12th tornadoes of 2023, we saw her resilience. And thanks to the investment from the SBA, she was able to keep her doors open to continue the coffee shop's great legacy. She is now expanded and includes a new location on Water Avenue called Reflections. So we're so excited to be able to welcome Jackie Smith, who is also the proud recipient of the 2024 SBA Phoenix Award for Outstanding Disaster Recovery Efforts, which was awarded to her in Washington, D.C. at a very special event at the SBA. We are so proud of Jackie and her national accomplishments. So without further ado, I am thrilled to be joined by the owner of the Selma Business Coffee Shop, Jackie Smith. Jackie, how are you?
Hello, Congresswoman Sewell. I am well. How are you?
I am doing great. We are so proud of you and so proud that you were in Washington, D.C. to receive the 2024 SBA Phoenix Award. What does that mean for you as a local small business owner in Selma, Alabama, to be able to be recognized nationally by the SBA?
It means a lot to me. I look at this award and I reflect, sitting here in Reflections Coffee Shop, upon my community and how proud the community is for Selma business to be receiving this the national award, and how honored and how humbled I am to have been chosen, because I know in 2023 there were thousands of disasters in the 53 states. And for me and the coffee shop to be chosen to receive the Phoenix Award is quite an honor. And what I say about it is that uh, it's almost like someone gets it. Someone gets the hard work, the dedication, the commitment, the resiliency, the push, the perseverance, all of that it takes to rebound, for a community to come together and be strong and rebound after a major disaster.
Absolutely.
We lost over 100 businesses and a third of our, residential areas. So to receive this award, it shows the world what you can do when you come together as a community.
Absolutely. And, both of us being Selma natives, there's nothing more prideful than to be able to come home and to be able to set up shop and to provide a much needed gathering place for our community. That's really what the coffee shop is. And now to have another business right on Water Avenue, Reflections, and to have an even bigger space to come out of the 2020 tornado, not only surviving, but thriving through it. And I know it took some help. That's why I'm so proud to partner with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, to do all that we can to make sure the funding is there. Access to capital is probably the biggest barrier to people actually owning their own businesses. Can you tell us what inspired you and how you got over that hurdle of capital access?
Okay, and you're exactly right. Since 2011, it has always been a struggle for me as a small business, but there again, somehow I've managed, to make it, and I guess learning some of the tricks of the trade and how to stretch a penny, and penny wise, and but when the 2020 pandemic actually uh, was sprung upon us, the SBA established what's called an economic injury disaster loan.
The
And
idle
so,
loans, yeah.
loan, yeah. Um, Restaurants was probably, in the category of the hardest hit industries during the pandemic. And so that idle loan helped me to, my biggest fear actually was sending home, like 5 employees that worked for me, and they depended upon their paycheck. It wasn't a lot,
Yes.
but it helped to feed their families. So you had people at home didn't know really how they were going to be able to pay their bills. The restaurants were closed. So when SBA created this idle loan, I was able to apply for funding, use it for payroll purposes, bring those women back to work, being a source of income to them, able to buy supplies and inventory and equipment that we needed, because actually the residual income was lost. And
Yes.
so you couldn't really count on the patrons that you were leaning and depending on to operate your business in the past. So that idle loan really helped me to sustain operations at the coffee shop. So I was very grateful for that. I don't know, it was a lifeline for me. That's the
Yeah.
only way
And
I
not
could.
just you, Jackie. I mean, this week is National Small Business Week, and you know, the small businesses are the backbone and the economic engine of America. I don't think people realize that over half of our workforce work in small businesses. And as you said, the pandemic wreaked havoc on everyone, but especially those businesses in the restaurant business, any business that required the gathering of people, really was dramatically affected. And we in Congress knew that this was going to happen. And every President Biden, really told us when he came in that he wanted to level the playing field. He wanted to bring economic equity and racial justice, and really work on closing the wealth gap in small distressed communities. And what better way to both help us out of the pandemic and at the same time really help distressed communities than to have the SBA provide special loans that were grants and loans that were especially geared towards assisting businesses just like yours. And so you have to be good stewards of those resources. Otherwise, others won't have those same opportunities. And so what I'm most proud of is not only that you weathered the storm, but that you came out of this really as a beacon of hope for other small businesses, and for you to be the recipient of the 2024 Phoenix Award, Rising from the Ashes of Destruction, I think is saying a lot. And I can't even tell you, I guess you can tell by my excitement how prideful I am that the recipient this year is from our district, and not just from our district, but from a small community. People know Selma because of the bridge, but we're a town of 19,000 folks and dwindling. And so be able to have a business such as yours, and then to recover and be able to start another business. So one is on Broad Street, just so everybody knows. The original coffee shop is on Broad Street, and Jackie was able to open another business right on Water Avenue. So it's actually abuts the Alabama River and the bridge. So it's a wonderful location, and you get all the foot traffic from those folks that are visiting Selma and want to experience not just the bridge, but what it's like to grow up and what it's like to live in a small town. And so I'm sure that you get patronized by people all over the world, like who are coming to Selma to just experience the history.
We do. And I mean, I never really understood the magnitude of tourism on our city until I opened the coffee shop and to witness the hundreds of thousands of people that come to Selma every day to experience and relive our historic moments from the civil rights, Civil War, and beyond. Yes. There's so much. Selma is so rich in history. And so when I had the opportunity to open Reflections, as you say, that's sitting right here at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, I couldn't turn it down, because I know the people that come to Selma and they need a good place to gather and jump on the internet or get a cup of coffee or get a sandwich. So I wanted to be that place, and hopefully this new development here on Water Avenue will spur other businesses along Water Avenue to say, hey, if you open, people will come and support you.
People will come. Yeah. And, first of all, you've become such a local icon. Everybody knows about your amazing chicken salad sandwiches and all the paninis. And, I'm now hooked on the green smoothie. Yeah. Amazing. What's your favorite thing that you actually make on the menu? What do you look for?
My favorite at the original coffee shop, I must say, is the chicken salad, because that comes from an old family recipe. We've got a few secret ingredients that we throw in there, so that's how we kind of.
And I've been trying to get that out of you from years, and I just, let me just pay for the sandwich itself.
Just get the sandwich. And here at Reflections, we have a grilled chicken club sandwich. And when I tell you we've nailed it, that sandwich is well put together.
Awesome. So what inspired you to come back home? I know you were in Montgomery, and what inspired you to come back home to be an entrepreneur back home?
Well, actually, Congresswoman, working in city government for the first 26 years of my life, and, having the opportunity to work alongside your mother, who was such an inspiration and mentor, and someone who greatly encouraged me and pushed me to always do my best, and to always believe that you can do it. Yeah. So just being surrounded by her and all of the people in this community, when I went to work in Montgomery for Hyundai to help them get the new automotive plants started. and just got a little burned out on the road. I was missing being home, meeting people, talking to people. So I'm like, if I can just get back home and open me a little coffee shop where I can meet people and sip and drink coffee and talk and visit all day. So that's what inspired me, my love for coffee, my love for people, and most definitely my love for Selma.
Absolutely. And we're also grateful because, there are definitely trends in tourism. So what's really sustained you are the fact that people in Selma want to come and have a place, like you said, to get on the internet, to mix and mingle, to study, to, people. I know you have a varied array of patrons, but I wanted to ask, like, what was your biggest barrier? Like when you decided you were going to do this, was it making the decision? Was it, and how did you convince, because you had to have a business plan, you had to go to the bank.
Yes,
Talk to us
yes.
about the stages of your entrepreneurship.
Okay, so once I decided that, that's what I was going to do, and that was to come back home and open a business, I just threw myself behind this idea like 100%. I would get up every morning and get on the computer and I research and I learn, about the coffee industry, about trends in the community, and develop the business plan. And I tell you, our local Chamber of Commerce was very integral in my early success. There's actually a resource room at the chamber, and in this resource room, there are all kind of resources from how to build a business plan, how to start a business, how to get funded. So I would go and just spend hours, countless hours, researching and reading and looking for ways to set myself up to be successful. I would even go into little small towns like Wetumpka and Millbrook and visit those coffee shops and just sit there and secret shop so I could understand trends and when was the busy periods and when were the lulls. So,
so you were it was all about, you were very informed. Like it was not something that you just, decided, woke up one morning and just did.
Yeah.
Rather, you did the planning, you did the research, you figured out where the access to capital and then you went to visit similar, businesses like the one that you wanted to, just to see the trends. So
Exactly.
I wanted to explain that because some people just think that people just, but the success of your business, I think, is not just the fact that you have amazing food and it's a great location. All of that matters, but you've done the work, the hard work of trying to figure out, the best way to succeed, to set yourself up for success.
Yes, I would definitely say that played a major part in my success. I knew I set, really high standards for myself. I'm really hard on myself, and I knew I couldn't fail. So I knew I had to, like take all of the necessary steps beforehand to kind of set this business up where I would be successful. And, something else I always tell people, do something that you love. Make sure if you start a business, you're starting a business that you love. Because if you love what you're doing, if you love what you're doing what you love, and vice versa. And I really love coffee and I love food, but more than that, I love people.
Yeah.
So what better business to be in than to sit around the table and a cup of coffee and, share with friends and family and meet new people. So it has been everything that I could have ever hoped for and more.
Well, I have to tell you, my mom said that she used to love her instant coffee until she went to Jackie's coffee shop and had cup of coffee that was definitely not instant. It was so something can be said for that.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what advice you would give to small business people who are thinking about setting up a small business. And, I do know that for every small business that is established, half of them fail. I mean, a lot of them fail. And you didn't. Instead, and you lived through and experienced through a global pandemic, once in a century pandemic. And then right after that, just as we were rebounding, Selma was hit by this tornado. What got you through? What got you through? What advice would you give to businesses that are struggling right now? People who want to give up? What would you say?
Yes, and that's one of the things that I'm very, critical of is not giving up. I mean, a lot of people tell me you make it look easy, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, determination, a lot of sacrifice. So,
I can only
first,
imagine your family sacrificed as
oh
well.
yeah, and the family sacrifices, like you say, right
You
along
open
with.
a business, the family opens a business.
Right, that's right. And I have to miss a ball game or a ballet recital here or there, and and that's understood. But the main advice I would say is that plan, research, and go for it. A lot of times, we get right there on the cusp of realizing our dream, and then we let doubt creep in,
Yeah.
and we start to give up. So if you're at a place where you're comfortable with, you feel like you've planned your business, you've done your research, you've done your homework, go for it. Go for it. Be resourceful. Just know it's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
I would say that I didn't turn my first profit for the first 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's easy, to throw in the towel and want to give up, but you just learn to persevere and know what you're doing it for. Know that it's, bigger than you. I mean, I knew from the very beginning that Selma needed this place. Selma needed this gathering spot. Selma needed a place to bring her community together.
Yes.
And so I just feel like that was, placed upon me. And then I had an obligation, to see it through. So
Yeah.
love what you do what you love, be resourceful, have a plan, and people will support you. I mean,
Yeah.
I've leaned on the Congresswoman's office for support, local government. So uh, just don't be afraid to ask and seek help.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I think the hardest thing is just to believe in yourself, to have the audacity to say, I'm going to try this. I know that the odds are against me, but I plan on being a part of that, that fortunate ones that actually thrive, and learn from your mistakes is what I've heard from other business owners. Like, no, give yourself the breathing room to know that it's not going to all be the way that you thought it was going to be. And it's not going to always go the way you want it to go. But being able to be, as you said, resourceful,
Yes.
knowing that your success is a success, not just for you and your family, but for a whole community. Like you said,
Right.
you had 4 employees that were depending upon you. And I know that that has expanded now that you have another business. And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
and I do know that your obligations have expanded when you get new business, but hopefully, you, first of all, you're now a known commodity. So banks, your vendors, they know that when Jackie says that she needs X product, and that you're good for it and that you're going to do your very best. But to grow your business takes many years, like you said, of not necessarily turning a profit. And when I hear you say that, and I hear business owners say that, what I hear is you pay your employees first. Well, first of all, you pay your vendors and people who are your suppliers and all that, then your employer, your employees, and the last person that gets paid is you. And so when
Exactly.
you said breaking a profit, you were successful those 7 years, but you may not
Yes.
have been able to get by and pay yourself in the
Exactly.
process.
Exactly. Exactly. So you learn to just, hang in there and
Yeah,
know, it's coming. It's
yeah,
coming. It's coming. And like you say, once you, establish yourself in your community and your surrounding, you'll be okay. And one thing that I always kept to the front of my mind is that I'm only as strong as the community that I live in, the community that I serve. So I have to do my part. I have to partner with education. I have to partner with the arts. I have to partner with faith-based organizations. I have to partner with the youth to help make this community strong, to help strengthen it so that people will have better quality of lives and have more income and have more, opportunities to come and patronize us businesses. So, I mean, I can't sit down here and think I don't need the people off the street to walk in and buy that coffee and buy that scone and buy that sandwich. I need
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
it's a joint
absolutely.
effort.
you know what people often ask me what motivated me to run for Congress, and I hear in what you're saying to us today some of the same themes. We grew up in a great community that nurtured us, that told us that we could be somebody. We believed it. We went off in the world and did pretty well for ourselves, but doing pretty well for ourselves wasn't enough. If I learned anything from growing up in a little small town, it's that neighbor helps neighbor way before government gets involved, way before the SBA comes down, like it's neighbor helping neighbor. And I know your story is very similar. I never realized that I came from a poor town until I left Selma. Like,
Yeah.
because I felt nurtured. I felt like the values that my parents were teaching me were reinforced by my Sunday school teacher, my eighth grade teacher, my band leader, and that takes a community. They say a village to raise a child, but it's so true in small towns. And then to go back to Selma and see it become shrinking, it's an aging community. So many of us grew up there, left, and didn't come back. And those of us who did come back, I believed in my heart that if people understood our motivation, um, they would see in us why they marched. They would see in us why they sacrificed. And they would support us in our efforts to extend that brand and to offer opportunities to others. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm on
Yes, you make much sense, much sense. And I recall growing up and in our neighborhoods, there were stores and businesses on every corner.
Every
We had
corner.
drugstores, little grocery stores, cafes. So we were inspired. I was inspired early on by all of these business people that nurtured me and helped to raise me. That hey, one day I want to own my own small. I
And
will serve.
some of that was by necessity, because we do know that in the heart of that during the times when we were growing up and our parents were growing up, there was segregation, and the reality is that you had to have a Black funeral home and a Black florist shop and a Black place to hang out and a Black juke joint, and
Exactly.
and in fact, I think that one of the great things about your story is that the coffee shop now stands in a place that used to be a segregated diner. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, a coffee shop is sitting in a 1960s diner where, as a young child, I can remember my mom walking us to town. We did a lot of window shopping, and
Yeah.
she would walk us to town. And the Thirsty Boy was the name of the restaurant in the 1960s, and it was a segregated diner that, as a child, I couldn't enter through the front door to be served. I actually had to be served from a window to the rear of the building. So in 2011, when that building became vacant and I had an opportunity to be an entrepreneur and operate a business in there, it was a full circle moment for me.
Yeah.
And so I've taken that window that once stood as a sign of divisiveness and hatred, and I've turned it into a window of hope and unity and community. And in that window, I have displayed a lot of awards and a lot of gifts that people have given me and blessed me with over the years. So
Well, I know that while the SBA just acknowledged you nationally, you've been acknowledged by the state as a Golden Retailer Award a number of times, and I know also that the joy in the hearts and stomachs of the people that you serve also is such a reward for you and your family as you take on this mission.
It is. And just for people to stop by and text me and call me and say, "Oh, we're so proud of you. We're so happy for you. You're so deserving." So at the end of the day, it just, pumps me up and gives me that motivation. Hey, go get you a good night's rest and come back and start all over again. Selma needs you. So
Absolutely.
here, Selma, I received this award for you, Selma. You've done it. We've done it together.
For Alabama 7th District, because our district, we have Birmingham, we have Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
We have a lot of small communities like Selma, Camden, Demopolis. And, I think that your story gives hope to lots of small and frankly, underserved communities, whether that's urban or rural, to have your success be recognized nationally. is all of us share in that reward for you, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you for having me.
So I just want all of you to know that it's possible, and it's been a joy for us to have this conversation, this Terry Talk around small businesses. This is National Small Business Week. Go out and make sure that you are uh, giving your dollars this week to a small business. Not just this week, every week should be National Small Business Week.
Exactly.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference to the quality of life of the community that you live in when you shop local, when you shop small business. And so, any parting words, any parting advice you want to leave our audience with, Jackie? I'm just beaming from ear to ear because, you know, I know how hard it is to start a business, and every day we are inundated with calls from people who need help. And that help is not just individual help. It is small, medium, and large size businesses that lobby our office, that tell us the tax code's not fair, that tell us access to capital is not fair. And, and so we try to make sure that we understand these stories and speak power to truth when we're in decision-making tables about better ways that we can level the playing field, give better access to everyone, irrespective of race and gender and location.
So I like to end my part by just saying thank you, Congresswoman Sewell, for what you do for your 7th congressional district, the state of Alabama, and the United States. You have always been a supporter of the small business community. We thank you. Continue to fight for us and litigate for us, and to help strengthen the laws and the policies to support us, because we are truly the backbone of the community. And to the people that's listening, I just like to encourage you to please shop local. 67% of your dollar will come back to your local community. So please shop local. We need you.
Absolutely. With that, that's the best way to end today's Terry Talk. We are sipping on success as we honor the great story and the award-winning coffee shop and small business owner, Jackie Smith. Thank you. You do us proud each and every day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.